Jaron, I would love to know whether there is such a thing as God. I know everybody else would too. Some people are sure that there's no God, and many people are sure there is. I don't want to ask you that. I want to ask you a different question. I really respect the creativity that you've brought to many different fields. So I want to ask you, how should we, or should I, think about this question about does God exist? What approach should we use?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is that I think God is a bundle of different ideas, some of which I personally find essential, others attractive, others horrific. And I think I share this sense with many people. I think many people would have the same reaction. Let me be a bit more specific about how I see God. I think that the human species has a hidden side, and that if we look at this side, it's hidden from us because we don't like to see it. I think we are clannish. We're obsessed with pecking orders. We love gossip. We love sexual competition of a nasty kind. We love violence. I think that that is who we are. I think we have to live with it. Now, if you go back to the Hebrew Bible, God is the king of the universe. The original, or one of the original ideas that people had just to have some theory of explanation of reality was to apply the same rules of the clan that guided human affairs to reality. So, and a clan has a king, reality has a king. Now, the problem with that, of course, is clan warfare, pecking order within the clan, and this is where you get into this business about religions and violence. How do you get out of that? My opinion is that in everyday affairs, the best way that humanity has found thus far, maybe there'll be a better one someday, but thus far, the best thing is not to try to deny it, fight against it, destroy this pecking order sensibility, but it's to confuse it by offering too many overlapping roles for everybody so that you can't really tell where you are. So for instance, in modern democratic capitalism, open sort of this world, we have multiple roles. There are multiple ways of achieving status. There are multiple ways of feeling like you're not at the bottom of the pecking order. There are multiple kings. Everything's all mushy. You can be an academic and a business person and in sports all at the same time, varying degrees of success in them. And basically, that overlay is what confuses them. And this is one of the reasons why I think that trying to enforce some sort of strictness or aridity in metaphysics is really dangerous. I think what should happen is that our metaphysical thinking needs to become confused in order for us to be kind to each other. Okay,
so you're looking at very operantly. What is the best result? Not necessarily what's real, because we may not know, but what works best for our society?
I'm not aware. I mean, what can I say? The traditions of, I mean, I'm Jewish, and our God said, you know, you can't understand God, so I'll take God at His word on that. So all that's left is to be pragmatic. I think we have to unpack a few things. I refuse to be one of those scientists who tells people, this is it, there's no afterlife. And that's essentially what happens. I mean, some of the anti-religion rhetoric these days has this very dry and almost like school marmitis kind of feeling of like, you know, like we're going to fix you. Your hope is out of line. And that seems to me to be just awful and cruel and silly. And it also suggests some sort of superhuman ability to cope with death that scientists have achieved, which of course is completely not true.
Well, their approach is that we're telling people the truth. And they may not like it, you may not it may be uncomfortable, it may destroy your myths, your hopes for the future, but this is the truth, baby, and you might as well accept it.
It's, yeah, you know, it's not a falsifiable truth. I mean, it's not a scientific truth. It's
well, that's the challenge.
So we should, what I think, obviously what we have to really worry about is clannish religion, you know, for that matter, clannish anything. I mean, you can get rid of God and still have all the trappings of God. The communist regimes have done that. Yeah. And certainly, I think various technical cultures can do it. I mean, my friend who I adore, Ray Kurzweil, has essentially reinvented a religion. Well, actually, Alan Turing invented it. It's a religion in which you identify with digital abstractions, because digital abstractions are these clean, pristine, Platonic things that don't have to die. And it's so similar to the traditional religions in so many ways. It's just nascent and doesn't have a big following. But there's every reason to believe that if it did, it would have all the same problems as any other religion has ever had.
Yeah. So how then do we reflect on the reality of God? I love your point that we should not ossify our metaphysics about God or anything else. And if we look at God and unpack the pieces that maybe our culture has put together, I think those are two interesting concepts. No ossification and unpack the pieces. Is that fair?
Sure. I think we have to accept that people will be clannish. The attempt to say all the religions are really the same and we all have to love each other is foolish, because people don't. People are inherently cruel. I would never have said that in my 20s. I've come to understand that there's a truth inside me, inside everyone, that this is who we are. But I think what we can do is confuse the evil parts of ourselves so they're not so dangerous. And so in this one area, I advocate confusion.